radar because I want to take you back outside. Trevose, Neshaminy exit here. This is the Pennsylvania Turnpike. More video coming in, and I'm going to get a closer look because I'm seeing this for the first time as well. This is a Volvo dealership. Look at the sheer damage of that dealership right now, and we talk about the tornado warnings through that area, and you can clearly see just how powerful the winds are. We're going to go back to the radar here, but this gave you a better understanding. This is the Trevose Neshaminy, like a Volvo dealership, and I don't know if we can kind of focus in on that area or talk about what we saw over the past hour here, Kathy.
And that was in Trevose.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so that was where we saw the Doppler radar indicated tornado when that particular cell was issued with a severe thunderstorm warning. That was a severe thunderstorm that we had said, this is showing rotation, we're concerned about this, and that was where we had the Doppler radar indicated tornado. And you look at that damage, clearly that was a strong storm, and that looks like the work of a tornado. I mean,
yeah, and that was
smashed
on Street Road. That's on Street Road.
So that makes perfect sense. So this is the area we're talking about where the storm actually formed and moved toward the southeast. And as that cell moved through, if we could stop that, Scott, let's see if we can go back in time to the time that that was issued, which was probably around 6:30-ish. There's Trevose right there. So this is where when that storm was issued, and the National Weather Service had issued a severe thunderstorm and then issued the tornado warning, said it was in the Feasterville, Trevose area moving toward the southeast at 25 miles an hour. So this is the area we're talking about right here, and this would be the area of the tornado as it moved toward the southeast, and you can see there were our indicators. So Thomas, that's exactly where you're talking about, where the dealership is, and this is the shear that's showing all that rotation that did that damage. I mean, that's significant damage to that building.
And we're talking 70, 80 mile per hour winds going through that area.
Probably greater.
Greater.
Yeah, to do something like that.
We're going to show you the video here in just a moment once again, but I mean, we've just seen all along Street Road the amount of damage with trees just snapped in half. You know, the power outages that we're experiencing right now, and it's going to take crews quite some time to get the power restored for so many people. But just over the past 2 to 3 hours, Kathy, we've been talking about the rarity of this storm, but just the extent of how long we've been covering these warnings, tornado warnings. It's something that I haven't seen in quite some time in this area.
I've never seen it. I've never seen 3 hours. We started at about 4:30 in the afternoon, and now it's 7:40, I think. I don't even know anymore. But about 3 hours plus, talking about 2 different cells. One cell that's still going. That tornado warning that we're still talking about in Mercer, Middlesex, and Monmouth County was part of that original warning that came out at 4:30 in the afternoon that was in Berks and Lehigh County into Northampton. Could it have been another developing tornado that then was reissued? Maybe. It could still have been the same one. I mean, we saw the intensities change over the past 3 hours as the storm moved through Bucks County and then moved on to Mercer County and continues to move through eastern Mercer County and into areas of South Jersey. So the longevity is really incredible. And when the National Weather Service goes out tomorrow and checks out these areas in Trevose or sees that damage in parts of Upper Bucks and Lower Bucks County, they are going to look for, is this damage, you know, in a circle radial, or is it straight line winds? Obviously, we saw these Doppler radar indicated tornadoes and confirmed tornadoes, so we do know we have possibly at least 2 tornadoes or 1 tornado touching down twice. No matter what it is, that damage is significant, and that's something we rarely see, if we've ever seen, in this area.
And when we say seek shelter immediately, and for very good reason here, I want to take you back to Street Road in Trevose and show you a different angle, Kathy, of that same dealership. Once again, this is the Volvo dealership, and emergency crews still on the scene. This video, once again, just coming in, so I'm seeing it for the first time as well, but the amount of damage, look at that tree right there, just snapped in half. And the right or the left side of that building completely collapsed by the winds through that area. So we're getting another look here, viewers sending us in. And look at the backup right there because of the water that we're seeing on the roadway and the amount of damage that we're seeing on the roadways as well, with the power lines and the trees all across the area. This is one of the areas that we indicated earlier for that tornado warning.
You know, we did have a report from the National Weather Service. Remember, it said a large, dangerous tornado. That's what they call the one in Upper Bucks. But when you look at this, it looks, when you look at the trees down, you can, if we roll the video again, you can see, it seems like trees damaged, obviously, in that building damaged, and then look on the side near where the camera is, we have all these other trees damaged as well. So it makes you wonder, was that how wide this tornado was? Did it come from where that building was and do all that damage and then across the road? It's definitely radial. It's circular, that damage. You can see it because on one side where the building is, there's all those trees down over there, and then on the other side of the road, you have trees down. If you're in a helicopter looking at this damage, I'm sure you would see a circular, large area of real estate of damage, and you can just tell by the way the trees are bent.
And that's all critical, Kathy, when they go out tomorrow as well, when they look at the damage. I mean, this will give an indication of whether or not it was a tornado.
Absolutely. So we saw it on Doppler radar, so we're pretty confident. But if you didn't know and you went out in a helicopter and you looked at this, you would be looking at where the building is, okay? Part of the building's collapsed. Like, that's definitely the work of a tornado. And you're looking at trees on the other side of the parking lot that are bent. They're not in a straight direction. They're kind of twisted. So that would indicate a tornado. If you see it right there, I mean, they're just those branches, the whole top is like sheared off. The trees are in different directions. They're you know, one's twisted one way, one's twisted the other way. If it were a straight line wind, everything would be smashed in the same direction. So look at how that's all twisted and mangled. It's significant wind that's going to damage that building. Significant. So, I mean, you could talk 80, 90, maybe 100-mile-an-hour wind, Thomas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some serious damage.
And
there.
once again, if you're just joining us, this is right along Street Road. That's the Pennsylvania Turnpike, as you can see right there, and just the backup. We don't know if there's an accident right there, but certainly flooding on the roadways. That is a Volvo dealership, and once again, we talked about the sheer wind, the wind shears. You can see the trees there snapped in half, and also the building. I mean, as we look around, the amount of damage, as crews right now are assessing the scene, making sure that no one is inside the building or no one is hurt at this hour. But this is Trevose, and when we talk about the warnings here, Scott, this was over the past hour that we saw this tornado warning through that area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you saw it first here on Fox 29. We were looking at Ultimate Doppler when it was a severe thunderstorm warning through sections of Montgomery County, and it was showing the hook, it was showing the rotation on Ultimate Doppler, and sure enough, it ended up being a tornado-warned storm. So here's a look at Ultimate Doppler. Earlier, we were watching it moving through sections of Montgomery County. You can see that hook developed